Hey everybody, Tad financial update. This is like my third time trying to record this because I have a wicked headache today. Fire alarm testing was a day early. What fun. So today I'm going to be talking about the financial update for Tad for this week, although I will also be talking about an update to the application itself coming out soon, and I'll be asking you guys for feedback, which is actually a request by Kit himself, which is the creator of Tad. First thing you probably want to know is the finances, though. I got about 130 American dollars this week, which translates to about 180 Canadian dollars. Did I say Canadian twice? 130 American dollars, which translates to 180 Canadian dollars. The headache, it's taking its toll on me. So that's 30 American dollars down from last week, which, again, I kind of expected the drop-off to continue a little bit. Some people were asking, is that because some of the advertisements are worthless money now? And yeah, that is part of it. Some of the more expensive, higher-earning advertisements had run out. So until bigger ones come out, it's more so the lesser-earning ones, which is still, again, like 30 to 50 times better than watching an advertisement on YouTube, so I don't really have many complaints. But I do get to see the number of people who watch advertisements, the number of advertisements watched, the average number per person, that kind of thing. And less advertisements were watched this week, comparison to the last week. And about 30 less people used the application altogether. Which doesn't surprise me. Once again, I didn't have many opportunities to stream and do videos and stuff and like remind people that Tad exists. But I sent a bunch of emails to Kit, the creator, giving him recommendations that you guys have given me and asking questions that you guys have asked me. And he was super happy about that. He said that, first of all, he called you guys awesome, which I think is pretty awesome, because I think you're awesome too, but I may have a little bit of a bias there. He was very grateful at all of the feedback that you guys have given me that I passed on to him, and he explicitly said, if you get any more of these suggestions and any more of this advice, let me know right away. So I let him know, all right, I'll make a video flat out asking them for feedback and for advice and for updates you guys would like to see. And he's like, let me know how that goes. Pumped to hear it. So awesome. I also know a few things that are happening for it. So first of all, just watch the video first before you send any recommendations, because it's possible I've already passed it on to him. I'm going to tell you right now the ones that I've already passed on to him, because I have it in an email right here. So I asked him about Windows phones, because you guys told me that it didn't work on Windows phones. So I said, like, hey, is this the thing that's going to work on Windows phones at some point? He said that he doesn't know how soon, but he is working on actually a way to watch advertisements on Tad that'll work either maybe in a browser or a desktop application, something like that. And he said that whenever they get that working, it should also work on Windows phones. So even if it ends up taking a while to get a specific app for a Windows phone, they can make it so it'll work on a Windows phone in some way. And it also answers people who said, like, I have a laptop, but I don't have a phone. Can I somehow use a browser to watch the ads? They're working on something like that. Don't know how long that's going to take. It is not their top priority at the moment. They have a few other things they want to fix up first, but that is on the list. Other thing here, username searching in Tad. Right now, if you want to find people in Tad, you just have to scroll forever. I asked him if he's going to be adding a username search, and he said that yes, that's a very high priority. That might even be in the next update that's coming out. And I also talked to him about the phone number to download Tad thing, where if you click my Tad link in the description, it takes you to a page where you can put in your phone number. It texts you a URL to download Tad, and it'll take you straight to my page on Tad. And I said, like, a few people seemed kind of nervous about that. Like, it seems like a scam. And, like, I know it's not a scam, obviously, and Kit obviously knows he's not a scam. He made Tad. But I let him know, like, some people think this looks a little bit sketchy, and he's like, yeah, I can see where you're coming from on that. It does look a little bit weird. Just make sure that they know that if they want to just get Tad directly, they can just go to their application store on whatever their phone is and find it there, so they don't need to send their phone number anywhere, and they can do it that way if they'd like to. And I also, he apparently is going to try and make it look a little bit less creepy, but I just want to reassure you guys, I did personally use the phone number thing to download TAD to test to see if it works, and I only ever got the one text message. That was weeks ago. They really don't actually spam your phone. So in case you're worried about that, my link to it is in the description. I also asked about real-time TAD updates. I want to know if it was possible, and this is from like a hardcore streaming perspective, like video game streaming kind of thing. Would it be possible for TAD to have a thing where it doesn't just tell me my funds once a week, it tells me it real time, updating every single minute or so? And I could have that number displayed on a solid colored background that I could then crop out the color of it and overlay it on my stream so we could have fundraisers where you guys live on the stream could see how much money you're generating. I think that would be super cool, and streamers would love the shit out of that. So I asked him if that's at all possible, because that sounds like a difficult thing to do. And basically what he said is he's definitely looking into it. It doesn't seem like something they'd be able to do very quickly. However, daily updates is something that they're working on that might come sooner than we think. So, not quite the same thing, not quite as awesome, but still daily updates. It's better than weekly, and most websites don't give you weekly, they give you monthly. In fact, TAD pays you weekly too, which is absolutely astonishing. I'm extremely thirsty, hold on. Life-giving water, nectar of the gods. So I asked about all those things for you because people were asking about those, other than the real-time update thing. That was my question. Also, fun fact, I actually cropped out I took a screenshot on my phone of the TAD logo, cropped out the background and made a transparent background PNG of it and sent it to Kit himself to send to other YouTubers and streamers because they'd probably want that for promotion reasons. So hey, if you ever see a YouTuber or a streamer or someone using the TAD logo and it's overlaid so it doesn't have a background, it's just overlaid on top of something, I made that file. It took me like 10 seconds. It's not hard to do. But hey, I did it. Bragging rights. Also, the last thing that you guys really wanted is a lot of people were they wanted to know how many TAD points they'd earned from me, because like it accumulates, but you don't have any way of knowing how many you generate unless you write down the numbers, and that's a pain in the ass. Apparently, the next update is going to have that. The next update, which is going to be the first major update ever for TAD, it is going to have a counter letting you know how many TADs you've earned for that creator. I don't know if this is grand total, or if it's going to be just for that day or that session, or if it's going to be a bunch of lists for each thing you could want to know, but that is top priority. He wants you to be able to track how many TADs you've earned for a person so you can accurately know how much money you've generated for them, which I think is awesome. And again, as a reminder, 1,000 TAD points is $1 American, which at the time of this video is about $1.32, 33 cents Canadian. Our dollar fluctuates a lot here in Canada. So that's pretty awesome. Oh, and there was another thing he was going to do in the next update. Let me actually open up another email here where he has a list of things he wants to have done in the next update. First of all, he wants a lot of Twitter integration in the next update for TAD, which I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but it's going to be cool, apparently. He says here he wants Periscope-style ad feedback. I don't know what that means. I know the application Periscope, but I don't know what the hell he means by that. Apparently new layout. I think the current layout's fine, but maybe this is better. He wants you to be able to trash ads, so if you see an ad that you just never want to see again, you can trash it now, so you don't see it again. I guess that ties into another thing you wrote down here, which is more control over the ads you see. He says, follow and fund any creator with a Twitter account. I don't know how the hell that's going to work, but maybe they can pull it off. I don't know. He says, follow and fund more than one creator, which you can already do right now, so I'm very confused about what he means by that. Social sharing, which I'm guessing he means part of the Twitter integration. And he wants creator and advertiser leaderboards are apparently a big thing that they're testing right now. So you can sort by who's making the most money on TAD, which is very interesting. It's a crying cat in the background. Well, I say crying. She's just meowing for attention because she hears me talking. Right, Millie? Just pulling her hut over to me. There. Now she can be an attention hog. Everyone's going to look at her now. Okay, there was another thing. I think that's everything that they're working on immediately. Like, that's kind of the list of things they want in the big update that's apparently happening pretty soon. But another thing he wants to really point out to people, and I think it's worth pointing out, that, yeah, some of the advertisements have gone down a little bit in value. Not very much. And people have been worried, like, is this going to continue to go down, or is this just a normal thing? I'll go ahead and tell you right now, it's a normal thing. However, the TAD value is about to go up a lot, because TAD is starting to pick up steam kind of fast, mostly because of people like me on YouTube who are in a bad way and advertising it. Like, I got the YouTube channels Visnomatic, Visnomatic, Snapfish Hippo, Godfrey Games, Video Games Awesome. I feel like there might be another one that I'm blanking on. Hero They Call Me. All of those channels now have TAD accounts because of me. And I think it's going to start spreading like wildfire, because TAD is fucking amazing so far. You guys are fucking amazing for using TAD. But he says the more people use TAD will attract even more advertisers, allowing the TAD value to increase each ad. That's a really good point. If a lot of people are using TAD and watching these advertisements, then he'll be able to show those viewer numbers to advertisers and say, this is a guaranteed thing. If you put your advertisement on TAD, a lot of people are going to see it, which means advertisers are willing to pay more money because they know more people will see their product. And if TAD is getting more money for these advertisements, the users on TAD, like me, make more money too, because the value of those TAD points starts going up. You start getting more and more TAD points because advertisers are paying more and more. So each advertisement is then worth more TAD points. This potentially, I'm illiterate, this potentially could be fucking enormous. I am pumped for this. So you guys keep using this. It's a big deal so far. The last thing I want to talk about in this video, and of course, that's the point where if you want to, give as many suggestions as you want in the comment section, no matter how impossible you think it might be to do. If you think it's a good suggestion, do it. I'll pass it on to Kit. Even if I think it sounds like it might not be possible, maybe they can pull it off. I mean, I didn't think the real-time thing would probably be possible, but from the response I got from him, it's probably not happening too soon, but it's definitely a possibility. So it's important that we share these ideas, because he probably didn't think of that. I think he said he hadn't heard of that one. I don't remember exactly the wording of the email. Anyway, I just want to remind you guys that, yeah, the TAD income has gone down each week so far. From week 1 to 2 was substantial drop from 2 to 3, 3 being the one that just happened. It was a fairly minor drop, 30 American dollars, which is 45 Canadian, something like that, which that's a lot of money for me because, again, I live below the poverty line. But I just want to remind you that I'm not even a month into using TAD since putting out a video on it. I'm 1 week away from that. And already, if you total just the 3 weeks of pay I've gotten there, you've already made more money watching those little advertisements for a few minutes a day than my entire YouTube paycheck of the last month. I've been doing YouTube in general for, I think, going on 7 years, and I've been doing a minimum of 1 video a day for the last just over 5 years. And about 200 of you watching some advertisements on the side, not in the way of my YouTube videos, on this little phone application, in 3 weeks have already topped my 7 years of work on YouTube in income. That is how big of a deal your support has been. This is more overwhelming to me than Patreon even. And I guess it makes sense, because not everyone has money to donate on Patreon, but most people have a phone. And a lot of people want to support me, but it's just they don't have the money to spare. But they got a little bit of free time to click some things on a phone while they watch my videos or play a video game or something. And that's what people keep telling me. They don't mind watching a little advertisement on the side while they watch my videos, because the advertisements on Tad aren't keeping them from watching videos they want to watch. It's not in the way. And that's why they like it. I think that's really cool. So it's weird. I feel like it hasn't 100% sunk in for me yet how big of a deal it is. I guess because like my fiance, she's looking at apartments right now, and we have been looking at apartments for a long time. But, you know, whenever we see an apartment that maybe we could afford, it's like it's in a drug den, or it's in like it'll be on a Canadian registry for bed bugs or like insect infestation apartments, and we don't want to live there. We might actually be able to afford a decent place if this keeps up. And I don't really know how. I don't know. It hasn't really sunk in yet. I don't know how I'm supposed to respond to that. Like, I'm incredibly appreciative because I know I wouldn't. Well, just like anything else with my job, I wouldn't be making any money if you guys weren't watching and supporting through enjoying the show, more or less. But with Tad and Patreon, it seems like something extra special in that it's not just that you're watching the show, it's that you're going out of your way to do something. It's that on Tad, you're spending your time, which is, you know, translating to advertisement views and making me money. Or on Patreon, where you're literally spending your money. Is what they always say, you know, time is money, or time or money. Well, when you have the options of Patreon and Tad, you're basically choosing two different ways to support a guy. Do you have free time or do you have free money? Either way, if you want to spend it, you can, and help out this guy. And like, I keep trying to think of words that I want to say to express myself, because I'm not very good at expressing like this exact kind of thing. I don't know, it's kind of out of my wheelhouse, you know? I keep wanting to say appreciative, but I feel like that's not a strong enough word. And I keep wanting to say that I feel humbled by it, but I don't know if that's the right word either. I guess I am, in that I thought that I wouldn't get nearly this much support. And it is humbling seeing how much the average person who's a hardcore viewer of my show, at least, because again, only like 200 people use it. And I have lots more subscribers now, lots more viewers every day than that. Grand total across my channel, at least. It is humbling to me that so few people can make such a big difference. Not that 200 people aren't many people, but the fact that 200 people that are just regular people who have a phone or a tablet decided to watch a bunch of advertisements on this random guy they've never met in person on the internet because they know he's in a shitty place. And they know that if they do that, it's going to make money for them and it's going to get better. This guy that they may never see in person. I'd love to go to conventions, but yeah, with my lack of money and my disability, it's a little bit hard to travel. Maybe I'll start going to Con Bravo sometime, because that's usually in Toronto and Hamilton, so it's always close by. I'm planning ahead now. This guy that I think everyone kind of knows, like there's a solid chance that things are never going to get better for him, and there's a solid chance that his channel's never really going to take off, and there's a solid chance that you're never going to meet him in person, and yet you're willing to spend out of your time or your money to help me out. And then to tell me that you are. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I'm supposed to deal with that. Like, maybe it's because I'm so emotionally hardened when it comes to my situation. You know, I've lived in a bad way for a lot of my life. I've spent a lot of points in my life below the poverty line. Of course, I spent the first 20 years of my life living in a house with my father, who's severely manic depressive. And, you know, if you watch the life vlog stuff, he walked out on us and he's withholding his support payments that have been court ordered and might even go to jail. Who knows? But for all the terrible things that have happened to me that I can think of, on top of just obviously me being disabled, like I can safely look at my life and say I got some shit luck, man. Like terrible things have happened my whole life. Like I can distinctly remember a time when I was like 10, sitting down on my sister's bed with my sister, just like getting the conversation from my mom that like my dad stole some of my money to drink alcohol, which he was prohibited from having from his doctor, because he's mentally ill. And having to sit down and have that talk, and I distinctly remember barely paying attention, and that all I could think is that I just wanted to go back to watching Dragon Ball, because it was 8 o'clock, and that's when Dragon Ball was on when I was growing up. And when I remember things like that, it's when I kind of realized like I became emotionally hardened to the shit that happens to me at a pretty young age. I just kind of roll with the punches, I guess. And that's not to say it doesn't bother me. I've got serious stress-related health issues, and it's really bad for you. Like, I don't know if you've noticed. Maybe not, because the camera quality and the lighting quality and everything is so horrible since I've moved here. 11 months ago now, by the way. People say time flies. It doesn't feel that way to me. I don't know if you've noticed, though. I am thinning and balding something wicked. You probably can't tell from the camera like this. You could probably see it better in person, but like I'm thinning really bad here. My hairline's receding. I'm losing hair all the time, probably from stress. So yeah, I hate living here. Like I've never tried to hide that. I just try not to think about it too much and try not to worry about it too much. I try and focus on the positive things, which is way easier said than done, but it's been a real focus of me recently is to try and be more positive. I feel like if I'm more positive, first of all, being negative doesn't help me at all. It's just going to make me more stressed out, which is bad for my health. And if I be positive more often, it makes everyone else happier, and that's kind of the point of my channel, is to make everyone happy. I'm primarily a comedy channel. I'm entertainment. I got some tutorial stuff and educational stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to make people laugh and trying to make people happy. So I feel like being positive is probably like, I'll be goofy and silly and yell about things that don't really matter that much, because I have fun doing that. Everyone has fun doing that. That's why whenever I talk about a series that I'm very passionate about, I actually am a lot more level-headed and calm, because that's the stuff that I think I need to take seriously, And people have also been telling me, like, hey, smile once in a while when I'm doing these vlogs. I think I just smiled. See, I'm smiling now because I'm making myself laugh. I haven't been doing much smiling since I moved here. And that's not an intentional thing. It's just the way my face rests, I guess. Yeah. It's actually been difficult to try and find screenshots of myself smiling so that I can put that in the thumbnail, because I don't want people to be depressed looking at the thumbnail of my video. I think my previous TAD update, the TAD update 3, I think I was just looking depressed in that one. Like, that was the best thumbnail I could make. I feel bad about that. I've gone wildly off topic, but I think it's kind of important to say. It's kind of like half vlog, half financial update at this point. Is that I appreciate you and everything you've done for me, both in viewing my channel and using TAD if you use TAD, Patreon if you use Patreon, coming to my live streams if you come to my live streams, even just turning off ad block if you've turned off ad block. Although I have had some comments of people saying, holy shit, TAD makes you way more than YouTube, I'm turning ad block back on. Honestly, if you're using TAD, you do you, man, because those YouTube ads do not even come close to the TAD ads. I'm not going to encourage it. I think YouTube would get mad at me if I encouraged it. All I'm going to say is the choice is yours, and I'm not exactly going to lose sleep. As if you're using TAD as well, then I don't think I'm going to lose sleep over you admitting to using ad block. So, yeah. I guess that's why I find it so hard to find the words when it comes to this. It's not mathematics. It's not finding logical inconsistencies. It's a highly emotional thing. And I was hardened to that a long time ago. I'm used to being in really terrible situations. And I don't always know how to show my appreciation either than just straight face telling someone, like, I really appreciate that, thank you. Which is basically what I've always done. And I always kind of worry that I'm going to come off as disingenuous saying that. Because a lot of people will get teary-eyed. And a lot of people will go on and say these grand statements about their appreciation and everything. But everyone reacts to this stuff in different ways. I don't think that I'm any less appreciative or any less happy than those people you'll see in the videos who like tear up about big donations and stuff. Because this feels life-changing to me. I'm more so just numb to the idea that my life situation may be about to get a lot bigger. Because I've had so many false alarms about it getting better. So I've kind of steeled myself knowing, like, you know, don't get too excited. Just know there's a good... you never know when something's going to fall through. Because we've had multiple apartments before that looked like a sure thing, looked great, and then it fell through. Like, once we almost got a great one, and it turned out to be a scam. Like, flat-out scam. We didn't send them any money, thankfully, but we almost paid a lot of money on a scam once, on an apartment. And a few jobs that Fatima was going to get, and they just fell through at the last moment. Or she would get a good job, and then the job would just be an absolute shit show, so she leaves, because it's just unreasonable how terrible it is. And I won't name names of companies, because I don't want that looming over my head in the future. But I don't know. I feel like to people who have probably watched my channel for a long time, or even just watched a lot of me, especially in these vlogs, I feel like maybe it doesn't matter that I'm not tearing up, and it doesn't matter that I'm not going on and getting very visibly emotional about my appreciation. Because I think that you've seen me for long enough, and you kind of understand who I am as a person long enough, mostly through the vlogs where I'm, you know, less in goof around with my friends mode and more serious mode, that I try to pick my words in situations like this very carefully. And I like to think that that means they have a lot more weight to them, because I won't throw around words like that when I don't genuinely think they're applicable. So I think that a lot of you will probably really understand how much I mean when I say that I appreciate all of your support, whether it be through TAD or YouTube or Patreon or Hitbox or anything else. Even if it was just because you told a friend about my show. Thank you so much for your support, because I would not be here without that, without you. And even if here is just this terrible little one-room apartment, believe me, I would easily be on the street without the paychecks from things like YouTube and TAD and Patreon. So thank you.